Coming up, I'll tell you about 2 fundraisers going on right now within the affiliate. I'll talk about 4 meetings this week, including tonight's Diabetes Action Network group meeting at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'll also tell you about PA Blind Bracketbusters Men's Tournament Challenge. Put down that cookie. Federation Focus is on. Hey there, PA Federationists. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Federation Focus. Each week we'll come to you, we'll tell you about what meetings are happening this week, what other things are going on within the affiliate. We'll talk about conventions and we'll talk about fundraisers. Around Washington Seminar, we'll talk about that. All that each week coming to you on Monday for the week. So let's kick it off with the meetings. I mentioned the Diabetes Action Group. That is tonight at 6 p.m. Gary Wonder and Debbie Wonder are going to be there. They're going to talk about nutrition. So before you head out for St. Patrick's Day celebrations, before, jump on that meeting and check that out. It is an important meeting, an important group that Christine Palmer is the head of. Link for the Zoom information is below in the description. So again, tonight at 6 p.m. for the Diabetes Action Network group. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern again, Pennsylvania Association of Blind Merchants. Link will be below. It's via Zoom. Pam Baccaro is our president. I am the treasurer. I am going to be very busy soon because we are doing a great fundraiser, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes. But our meeting is tomorrow night. That's Tuesday night, the 18th at 6 p.m. They don't usually last too long, about an hour. We'll talk about the fundraiser I mentioned and a few other things that Pam will tell us about. Saturday, there are 2 meetings within the affiliate, 2 chapter meetings. They're both at 10 a.m. The first one I'll tell you about is the Greater Philly chapter meeting. 2 ways you can participate in that. Hopefully, you can participate in person, 4001 Conshohocken Ave in Philadelphia. That's the Park Tower Apartments. Again, 4001 Conshohocken Ave. Meeting starts at 10. Zoom information will be below. Denise Brown is the president there. Please contact her if you need some more information. Afterwards, they're going to have some cheesesteaks with some folks from the DC affiliate. I'm hoping to jump in on that. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed that I'm going to be there. I'll be at the meeting via Zoom, but I hope to meet them at the cheesesteak bar. And I think in one of my earlier takes, I think I said cheesecake bar, which would also be good, but not the same thing. You don't come up from DC for cheesecake. And lastly, as far as meetings go for this week, Saturday also at 10 a.m. is the Brandywine Valley chapter. They meet at 10 a.m. only on Zoom. Lynn Heights is the president there. So if you're in the Chester County, Lancaster County area, that's the meeting you want to jump in on. 10 a.m. Zoom links below. Any of these meetings are going to be helpful for you. Please jump in on the meeting. Now, I mentioned a couple of fundraisers. The first one I'm going to tell you about is the Piano Bar. It's the 5th year for the Piano Bar. And that is co-hosted this year by the Pennsylvania Organization of Parents with Blind Children and the Pennsylvania Organization of Blind Parents. And you would not believe how many times it took me to say that correctly. So jump in on that and support them. nfbofpa.org/piano bar, all one word, nfbofpa.org/piano bar. They're asking for $10 minimum donation. So please, if you can do more, please do more. And whatever you do, please click the box to pay the fees. On a $10 purchase, it's about 80 cents. Then that means those 2 great organizations, Parents with Blind Children and Blind Parents, share in $10 whole, not $9 and change, because you click the box to pay the fees. And again, if you can do more, please do more. Both organizations would really appreciate it. The other fundraiser that I wanted to mention is the Spring Fling. The Spring Fling Blind Vendor Showcase and Fundraiser is put on by the Blind Merchants. And we're going to talk about that, like I said, at our meeting on Tuesday night. So if you're interested and you want to help out, please jump in on that meeting. Again, the link will be below. But if you're interested in attending the Spring Fling, just as an attendee, you want to maybe bid on some auction items or grab some raffles, things like that, you can purchase an attendee ticket. You can purchase actually up to 100 of them in one transaction. So please do. That's PA blindmerchants.org PABlindmerchants.org/fling, F-L-I-N-G. PABlindmerchants.org/fling, links down below again, $25 for the entrance fee. There's going to be food and music, and again, auctions. Everybody loves when Denise does the auction. So auctions, raffles, food. We did the holiday party out there at the Best Western Premiere. That's where this event is going to be, May 17th, which I have not mentioned yet. So 2 months from today, out in Harrisburg, the Spring Fling Blind Vendor Showcase and Fundraiser. You can stay the night if you'd like to at the hotel, PABlindmerchants.org/hotel. But if you do click that link to go to book your room, make sure you book it just for the one night if that's all you're interested in. It automatically comes up the way the hotel set it up for both Friday and Saturday night. There's a room block available. Again, PABlindmerchants.org/hotel. In the show notes / description, there will be a phone number if you want to call instead of doing it online. If you're interested in exhibiting your products or your services, we would love to have you. If you are a blind vendor, a blind merchant, you don't have to be in the NFB of Pennsylvania. You don't have to be in the BEP, but you do have to be blind or visually impaired. Bring your stuff you want to sell. Bring your services that you want to tell everybody about. Tables are $50. If you need electricity for that table, that's an extra $25, so $75 total. You can register for all of that, PABlindmerchants.org/exhibit. That's an easy one to remember, right? So if you are a blind entrepreneur and want to get in front of some blind folks and supporters of blind folks with your goods and services, please register. Again, PABlindmerchants.org/exhibit. We would love to see you out there. It's from 4 to 10 on the 17th of May. If you've got any questions, you can reach out to me, vp1@nfbofpa.org, or Pam Baccaro, oneblindhippie at Yahoo, greatest email address ever, or contact anybody else within the organization, and we will be able to help you out. Again, that's the Pennsylvania Association of Blind Merchants Fundraiser and Blind Vendor Showcase coming up in May. Now, I had mentioned brackets. It's March Madness. Who doesn't want to fill out a bracket? If you think you've got the skills to be the top of the Pennsylvania Blind Bracket Busters, you're going to beat me, I know for sure. But everybody else you may not beat. So if you think you've got a way to pick the right teams, please, down below, there's a link, but I'm going to tell you it right now. nfbofpa.org/brackets. Fill it out. You've got to do it by Thursday, so do it now. When you get done watching this, click on that link, go over there, fill out your brackets, and let's see who ends up at the top. You don't have to be a member of the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania. You don't have to be a member of any NFB affiliate. You don't even have to be blind. You just have to be the best to be at the top of that. And again, you'll beat me. Almost certain that you will beat me. So go check that out as well. Now, I had mentioned the Pennsylvania Organization of Blind Parents. On episode 127 of White Canes Connect, Lisa and I talked to Stacy Leap, the president of that division, and Marva Hall, the treasurer. And they talk about how the organization got started. They talk about how it became an actual division. It was just chartered back in November of last year. And they also talk about another fundraiser besides the piano bar, and it is a recipe book, a cookbook. Now, my wife, Liz, has 8 million recipes, and I may only be off by 1 million or 2, but she has binders and binders of recipes. She will be submitting a couple. She loves baking, but there's more than baking in, in her recipes. And there are some that we've had for years that she keeps making that we all love. So contact the organization. That's blindparents@nfbofpa.org. If you've got a recipe you want to submit to Stacy and Marva and the rest of the blind parents to help them with their fundraiser on their cookbook. And that sounds like a lot of fun. So I can't wait to see that. I don't know what recipes Liz is going to send in. I'm guessing it might be the gingerbread latte cookies, but I don't know. I don't know if she's picked yet, but she's going to send in a couple. And those are delicious, by the way. The last thing I wanted to mention is the upcoming national convention. This year it's in New Orleans from the 8th to the 13th of July. You can find out more information about it by going to nfbofpa.org/NOLA, N-O-L-A, nfbofpa.org/NOLA. On that site, you'll find out all the information about the hotels. There's 2 hotels that are the primary ones. They're across the street from one another. On one side, it's the Marriott. That's where General Sessions is going to be in all the meetings and the banquet. Across the street at the Sheraton is going to be where the exhibit hall is. Now, the NFB of Pennsylvania is going to have a few things to sell, one of them being chocolate-covered pretzels. Now, the last time we sold chocolate-covered pretzels and I went to the state convention was in Vegas. And we were given 20 bags of pretzels to bring to the convention. Only 19 made it. One was purchased before we even packed our bags because we ate them. Me and Liz and Jacob and Jane. And that was back in 2019, I believe it was, or 18. Could have been 18. Whenever we were in Vegas, that's when we ate them. Delicious. Same place we're getting them from this year. We'll also have some other things to sell. We haven't finalized anything else yet, though, but the pretzels are almost a certainty. If you are on the fence about going to National Convention, try as hard as you can to go. You will never learn more in one short amount of time than you will at a national convention. You'll be educated, you'll learn advocacy, you'll find out what's happening nationally. You'll talk to other blind folks from around the country. Roughly around 2,500 people come to convention. Sometimes it's some more, sometimes a little less. But 2,500 of your closest blind friends will be there in New Orleans from the 8th to the 13th. 2 more things I want to mention. If money is tight and you have never gone to a convention, there is a scholarship called the Kenneth Jernigan Scholarship. It's for first-time convention attendees. You can get to that over on the NFB website by going through our website, nfbofpa.org/ can you guess? Jernigan, Jernigan. Jernigan. So nfbofpa.org/Jernigan. Go over there. You can read about it. You can fill out the form. And our president, Lynn Heitz, will get an email saying, hey, could you write a letter for this person? They want a Jernigan scholarship. Not everybody that applies gets one. But if you don't apply, you certainly won't get one. But it's got to be your first convention. nfbofpa.org/Jernigan. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, if you've never been to convention, you've got to really go for the whole time so you get all of it. And when I say the whole time, the convention starts on the 8th. Don't come in on the 8th because you will miss some things, especially Rookie Roundup, if you come in too late. You want to go to the Rookie Roundup if you've never been. On the other side, you don't want to leave on the 13th. The 13th is the last day of General Sessions. It is also that evening the banquet. And at the banquet, the food sometimes is delicious, but what you're there for is to be dressed nicely and listening to President Riccobono give his banquet speech. You can go back over the years and listen to previous banquet speeches by President Riccobono and his predecessors, Dr. Maurer and the other folks who came before them, and they are very inspirational. They will get you pumped to do many things within the National Federation of the Blind. And you will leave New Orleans very inspired, and you will hit the ground running when you return home on the 14th of July. Again, nfbofpa.org/NOLA to learn more about the convention and get the phone numbers for the hotels and things like that. If you have an event coming up within the NFB of Pennsylvania, whether it's a chapter event, a division event, any kind of fundraiser for those mentioned, please let me know so that I can publicize it each week on Federation Focus. Every Monday, a video will come out with meeting information. Next week's a little light on the meeting, so I'll talk about a few other things. Some of the fundraisers, senior group is meeting, so I'll talk about that. And there'll be some other things that I mention as comes up. Next week, we're also going to have a state convention planning meeting. I'd wanted to have it a little earlier in the month, but a couple other things went on that prohibited us from doing it. from doing that. There's also leadership coming up this week. You would have had to have registered by now to take part in that. I don't know if there's still an outside chance for you to get in, but you can reach out to either Stacy Leap or Michelle McManus if you want to have some more information on that, if maybe you didn't register in time. That's coming up on the 19th and the 20th, both nights from 6 to 8 p.m. I really do appreciate you watching this inaugural episode of Federation Focus. Again, my name is David. I am the first vice president of the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania. Thanks so much. Have a great week and happy St. Paddy's Day.